There's a Mediterranean gem where ancient temples rise in defiance of time and fortresses whisper the secrets of empires long past. Welcome to Malta, an archipelago steeped in history, where every stone and winding alley is a testament to survival, passion, and raw human ingenuity. This is the island that bore witness to the heroic clash of armies during the Great Siege of 1565, where a small band of knights repelled a formidable Ottoman force, forever altering the course of history. It's where the streets of Valletta, Europe's first planned city, still resonate with the echoes of Baroque splendor and colonial ambition, and where the silent, storied walls of Medina invite you to explore the whispers of ancient Rome and medieval legend. Malta has not only shaped empires, it has also transformed into a modern cultural crossroads, inspiring legends on the silver screen. Its dramatic cliffs and timeless citadels have set the stage for Hollywood epics like Gladiator, Troy, and Game of Thrones, proving time and again that this land is as captivating as it is historically significant. Step into a story where the past isn't confined to textbooks, but is woven into every breathtaking vista and hidden corner, waiting to be rediscovered. Before we begin our journey into the heart of Malta, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the Travel Theory crew. Welcome to Travel Theory. Your next adventure starts right now. From the moment you set foot on Malta's rugged shores, you enter a world where time appears to stand still. And every stone holds a secret. This small archipelago, bathed in over 300 days of glorious Mediterranean sun a year, has seen the rise and fall of empires that have shaped not only its fate, but also the course of Western civilization. Strategically positioned at the heart of the Mediterranean, Malta has long served as a gateway between continents. Its story is one of continuous reinvention, a melting pot where diverse civilizations left indelible marks. Long before written history began, Malta's prehistoric inhabitants raised monumental temples like the Gantija on Gozo, structures so ancient they predate the pyramids and Stonehenge. These silent witnesses speak to a civilization whose achievements continue to inspire awe. As centuries passed, the islands, comprising the vibrant main island of Malta, the enchanting Gozo, and the serene Comino, transformed into a coveted jewel for conquerors. The Phoenicians, Romans, Arabs, and later the Knights of St. John all left their imprint on the land. The Belvoir Memorial commemorates the Great Battle. In 1565, during the historic Great Siege, a small, determined force of knights and local defenders repelled a massive Ottoman invasion. This heroic stand not only preserved the island, but also became a beacon of Christian resistance, forever etched into the legacy of time. At the heart of Malta lies Valletta, a city conceived in the crucible of conflict and designed to endure. Constructed in the aftermath of the Great Siege, Valletta stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and Europe's first planned city. Its grid layout, formidable fortifications, and Baroque splendor tell the story of a people determined to rise from the ashes of conflict and build a future filled with hope. Beyond the battlegrounds and monuments, Malta's true character emerges in its vibrant cultural mosaic, a living heritage continually shaped by the ebb and flow of Mediterranean history. Positioned at the crossroads of the ancient world where Europe used to be connected to Africa, the island has absorbed influences from Phoenicians, Romans, Arabs, and the Knights of St. John. This fusion is evident today in the Maltese language, a unique blend of Semitic roots, accented with Italian and English nuances, as well as in its culinary delights, festivals, and artistic expressions. The local cuisine, from the rustic flavors of freshly baked ftira to delectable Maltese pudina, tells a story of shared traditions and innovation that spans centuries. Each vibrant festival, each religious celebration, and every piece of local folklore is a testament to a community that honors its past while continuously reinventing its identity. In every bustling market and every quiet village square, Malta's cultural legacy lives on, a dynamic synthesis of old-world charm and modern creativity that invites every generation to leave its mark on this ancient tapestry. The first light of dawn spills into the narrow channel of the Grand Harbour, igniting Valletta's bastioned walls in a blaze of ochre. This natural deep-water port, once described by Napoleon as the best in the world, has defined Malta's destiny. It's here on the main island that the islanders' ingenuity and tenacity have met every challenge history could throw at them. In the aftermath of the Great Siege of 1565, Grand Master Jean Parisot de Valette commissioned a new capital on the Skiberas Peninsula. By 1571, Valletta, Europe's first purpose-built city, stood as a testament to victory and resilience. Its grid-plan streets, grand auberge, and towering bastions were designed both for elegance and defense. Today, the entire city is protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Perched on Manuel Island, just north of Valletta's Grand Harbour, Fort Manuel was commissioned by Grand Master Antonio Manuel de Vilhena in 1723 and designed by Charles-François de Mondillon. Its elegant star-shaped bastions once sealed off the harbour's northern approach. And after heavy damage in World War II, it was meticulously restored in the early 2000s. Today, its pillared chapel and sweeping ramparts serve as everlasting backdrops for major film productions, most notably as the Great Sept of Baelor in Game of Thrones, and for scenes in Risen, Assassin's Creed, and 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Commanding both Grand and Marsamxett harbours, Fort St. Elmo held back the 1565 Ottoman onslaught, its defenders buying crucial time for the Knights. Today, its ramparts enclose the National War Museum, where artifacts from medieval armor to the Gloucester Sea gladiator faith illuminate Malta's martial heritage. Its palaces and hidden gardens whispering tales of knights, nobles, and the artisans who carved a capital out of the limestone itself. Across the harbour lie the storied three cities, Vittoriosa, Senglea, and Cospicua. In 1565, these towns bore the brunt of the Ottoman assault, rains of cannonballs, tunnels undermining the walls, and desperate hand-to-hand combat. Birgu emerged as Città Vittoriosa, Senglea as Città Invicta, while Cospicua, though heavily battered, held firm under relentless fire. Their cramped streets and hidden chapels still pulse with the courage of those who defended them. Once the knight's first capital, Birgu's narrow streets still echo with the clang of armor and the prayers of defenders. Dominating the skyline is Fort St. Angelo. Originally the medieval Castrum Maris, and rebuilt by the Order of St. John between the 1530s and 1560s as their headquarters during the Great Siege. Its limestone walls, later garrisoned by the British until 1979, withstood Ottoman cannon fire and World War II raids. Today it remains largely intact under the stewardship of Heritage Malta. Senglea, one of the historic three cities, is a compact peninsula jutting into Malta's Grand Harbour, offering some of the most sweeping views of Valletta's skyline. Known locally as El Isla, this fortified city carries the resilient spirit of Malta. Having withstood both the Great Siege of 1565 and heavy bombing during World War II, with narrow streets lined by honey-colored limestone homes, a peaceful waterfront promenade, and the iconic Gargiola Gardens at its tip. Home to the famous stone watchtower carved with a vigilant eye and ear, Senglea remains a quiet gem that still whispers stories of defiance and endurance. The watchtower's carvings symbolized constant surveillance and protection, meant to always watch over and listen to the city, guarding it from unseen threats. Cospicua's sprawling fortifications link Birgu and Senglea, sealing the inner harbor against invaders. At its core stands the Collegiate Church of the Immaculate Conception, founded as a parish in 1586 and rebuilt around 1730 in Grand Baroque form. Perched on Calcara's waterfront, Fort Ricasoli's battered walls are instantly recognizable to fans of Gladiator, Troy, and Game of Thrones. It's one of Europe's largest fortresses and a perennial film favorite. Leased by the Malta Film Commission and flanked by Malta Film Studios, Ricasoli has doubled as Port Royal, ancient Troy, and King's Landing, and served as the backdrop for blockbusters like Assassin's Creed, Agora, and the recent Napoleon epic. Under the photographer's eye, the crumbling sandstone walls come alive at golden hour, the shifting light and shadow evoking the same epic grandeur that transported the Colosseum to life. After a brief French interlude in 1798, Malta's leaders turned to Britain for protection. By the Treaty of Paris in 1814, the islands were formally a British Crown colony, a status that would last until independence on September 21st, 1964. Under British rule, Malta became a linchpin of naval power, its dockyards serving fleets bound for Suez and beyond. Yet the local spirit never dimmed. Self-government was granted in 1947, revoked in 1959, and then restored in 1962, paving the way to full sovereignty. During World War II, Malta endured some of the heaviest sustained bombing of the conflict, over 6,700 bombs in just 2 months of 1942. In recognition of the islanders' endurance, King George VI awarded Malta the George Cross, which still decorates the national flag today. This singular honor underscored a collective bravery that turned a vulnerable outpost into a symbol of Allied resolve. A fascinating footnote in Malta's modern law. Folklore claims Valletta was once offered as the permanent home for the United Nations. Official records, however, show that site planners in 1946 instead considered U.S. locations such as Philadelphia, Boston, and San Francisco, before John D. Rockefeller Jr.'s $8.5 million gift sealed New York City's fate as host. Whether myth or near miss, the story reminds us how Malta's strategic allure once reached beyond the Mediterranean. If you've made it this far and you're enjoying the journey through Malta's wonders, smash that like button and subscribe to Travel Theory. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Once a sleepy fishing village, Sliema has transformed into Malta's most cosmopolitan town and the island's commercial heartbeat. Its skyline, anchored by sleek apartment towers at Tignes Point and the soaring Portomaso Business Tower, frames a buzzing promenade lined with cafe terraces, designer boutiques, and beachfront bars. As the most densely populated locality on the archipelago, Sliema offers a taste of contemporary Maltese life. Here, high-rise luxury meets seaside leisure, making it the island's premier hub for shopping, dining, and nightlife. Just a few minutes' walk from the city, Exiles Beach, often called the Emerald Beach, beckons with its clear aquamarine waters and gently sloping limestone reef, making it one of Sliema's most beloved seaside escapes. Ideal for swimming, snorkeling, and sunbathing, its rocky platform ensures year-round access under the Maltese sun. Marsaxlokk is Malta's largest traditional fishing harbor, where vividly painted luzu boats bob alongside modern trawlers, carrying on a seafaring heritage that stretches back to Phoenician trading posts in the 9th century BC. Each Sunday, fishermen sell their fresh catch, tuna, swordfish, octopus, and the seasonal lampuki, directly on the quay, transforming the waterfront into one of the Mediterranean's most atmospheric fish markets. Beyond fishmongers, market stalls offer local produce, spices, and artisanal crafts in a colorful tapestry of sights and smells. The village's name, Port of the Southeast in Maltese, reflects its geographic role. Fed by a valley whose marshy floodplain hints at a bay once deeper and wider in antiquity. Nestled on the southeastern tip of Malta's Delimara Peninsula, St. Peter's Pool is a naturally formed horseshoe-shaped cove carved from white limestone, its emerald blue waters a siren call for swimmers and cliff jumpers alike. Centuries of wave erosion have sculpted its smooth, sun-bleached ledges, rising as high as 4 meters above the depths below. Ideal launch points for adrenaline-fueled dives that attract thrill seekers from across Europe. A small sea cave at the bay's western end reveals a hidden grotto, where snorkelers glide through sunlit tunnels searching for anemones and small reef fish. The pool's clear waters and cliffside panorama first went viral when a diving dog named Titi leapt into the bay. A moment captured in countless social media posts that turned this locals-only spot into a global sensation. Despite its growing fame, St. Peter's Pool remains without facilities. No cafes, restrooms, or lifeguards. So early arriving visitors often carve out their own sunbathing rock on the flat ledges and bring packed lunches for a back-to-nature escape. Nearby, the natural bays of Il Hofra Il Kabira and Il Hofra Izgira punctuate the rugged coastline, their shallow pools warmed by the relentless Mediterranean sun. Whether you arrive by boat from Marsaxlok's fishing harbor or navigate the steep rocky path from the parking area, St. Peter's Pool and its neighboring bays offer a raw, unfiltered slice of Malta's coastal beauty and geological wonder. The Blue Grotto refers to a cluster of sea caverns on Malta's southeast coast, just off the fishing harbor of Oued Ijuriek, where seawater carves through white limestone to form a series of interconnected chambers. When sunlight strikes at the right angle, typically from sunrise until early afternoon, the water filters rays into an array of cobalt, turquoise, and emerald that dance across the cave walls and ceilings, creating a breathtaking natural light show. Several caverns mirror the phosphorescent hues of underwater flora and fauna, while other recesses plunge into deeper, sapphire blue shadows that invite further exploration. Visitors board traditional wooden Luzu boats for guided tours through multiple grotto chambers, weather permitting, gliding under low arches and past sculpted rock formations that show nature's slow artistry. Beneath the surface, snorkelers and scuba divers explore the scuttled wreck of the El Faroud. Adventurers can also paddleboard or kayak around the limestone arches. Stand-up paddle tours here have become increasingly popular, offering a unique perspective of the cavern's geological contours. St. Paul's Bay, a laid-back seaside spot where St. Paul reputedly shipwrecked in 60 AD, offers sandy coves and a vibrant waterfront promenade. Gadira Bay, locally called Melieha Bay, has earned Blue Flag status for its outstanding water quality and visitor facilities. Inland lies the protected Gadira Nature Reserve, a Ramsar-listed bird sanctuary where herons and egrets gather among salt marshes and reed beds. Overlooking the bay, the hilltop parish church of Melieha offers sweeping vistas of Comino's Blue Lagoon and the surrounding countryside. A short drive north brings you to Popeye Village, the colorful 1980 film set turned theme park, while southbound trails lead to secluded coves and dramatic headlands, perfect for cliffside exploration. Popeye Village, also known as Sweet Haven Village, is a purpose-built film set in Anchor Bay, about 3 kilometers from Melieha Core, constructed in 1979 for Robert Altman's 1980 musical Popeye, starring Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall. The village's 19 rustic wooden buildings, logs imported from the Netherlands and shingles from Canada, created a 1930s seaside port that has endured long past filming wrap, thanks to local advocacy that preserved the set as a permanent attraction. Today, the site operates as both an open-air museum and a seaside resort, with visitors exploring original film houses, meeting characters like Popeye and Olive Oil in daily shows, and enjoying interactive attractions from puppet theater and mini golf to kayaking and a water trampoline in the sheltered bay. Seasonal events, Easter meet and greets, Halloween spookathons, and summer carnivals transform the village throughout the year, while the surrounding breakwater ensures calm swimming conditions alongside the playful facades. Adventurous guests can discover the adjacent Anchor Bay, a hidden inlet ideal for snorkeling over submerged walls of the original breakwater, and can hike nearby trails to the ruined Delamara Battery and Lighthouse, linking the village's cinematic past to Malta's storied maritime defenses. Golden Bay and Garden Tufieha sit side by side on Malta's rugged northwest coast, forming a trio of beaches famed for their natural beauty and accessible clifftop vistas. Golden Bay, once known as Military Bay, boasts pale, gently sloping sand, backed by undeveloped countryside and crowned by lifeguard-patrolled shores and water sports clubs, earning its blue flag for cleanliness and facilities. Just 345 meters south, Garden Tufieha unfolds beneath slopes cloaked in acacia and tamarisk, reached by a scenic descent down hundreds of stone steps that reveal a quieter, more unspoiled cove, adored for its wildflowers, occasional chameleon sightings, and perfect snorkeling ledges. Overlooking both bays, the 17th century Garden Tufieha Tower stands as a sentinel over the Mediterranean expanse, while nearby trails link these adjoining sands to secluded spots like Gnejna Bay, making the area a coastal playground that blends family-friendly beaches with rugged, cliff-lined adventure. The Dingley Cliffs soar to 253 meters above Malta's southwest coast, offering sheer limestone faces carved by ancient seas and sweeping sea views toward the islet of Filfla. A well-marked trail follows the cliff edge past enigmatic cart ruts etched into the rock, vestiges of prehistoric transport, before opening onto panoramic vistas of terraced fields and the open Mediterranean. At dusk, the cliffs glow in molten hues of copper and rose, making this spot a go-to sunset destination for photographers and nature lovers alike. Tucked away on the wild northern tip of the Marfa Peninsula, the Coral Lagoon, also called Dragonara Cave, is a perfectly circular sea cave carved into white limestone cliffs, its collapsed roof allowing sunlight to flood the aquamarine waters below. Accessible by a short, rugged coastal path from Armier Bay or by kayak from the shore, the lagoon's sheltered pool ranges just 3 to 4 meters deep, ideal for snorkeling among sea anemones and damselfish or simply drifting beneath the natural skylight. Despite its growing fame on social media, Coral Lagoon retains a secluded charm. No facilities or cafes, just smooth, sun-bleached ledges where early bird visitors stake out their own personal slice of paradise before the midday crowds arrive. Whether you're paddling through the swim-through arch or perched atop the rim, watching the light dance on the water, this hidden grotto offers one of Malta's most photogenic and unfiltered coastal experiences. Medina perches atop a limestone plateau in central Malta, its compact car-free streets winding past crenellated ramparts that once sheltered Phoenician traders who founded the city as An in the 8th century BC. Under Roman rule, it became Melite, 3 times larger than today's footprint, only to be pared back to its present walls during Byzantine or Arab stewardship, echoes of which linger in its Medina-style alleys and hidden archways. For over a millennium, Medina served as Malta's capital until the Knights of St. John moved to Birgu and then Valletta. Yet it never lost its aura of secluded power, its bastions still bearing scars from the 1551 Corsair raids and the Great Siege of 1565. Today, with fewer than 300 permanent residents, its hushed plazas and Baroque palaces draw over 1 million visitors annually, offering a rare chance to wander a living medieval stage set, illuminated by lantern-lit courtyards at dusk. The devastating Sicily earthquake of 1693 reshaped Medina's skyline, flattening much of its medieval core and paving the way for an 18th century Baroque Renaissance under Grand Master Antonio Manuel de Villena. Architect Lorenzo Gaffa finished rebuilding the cathedral in 1702 with theatrical vaults and domes, while engineer Charles-François de Mondion overhauled the main gate and civic buildings, adding ornate flourishes that still gleam in the fading sunlight. Even the city's narrow staircases feel cinematic, leading to hidden gardens and frescoed salons where once powerful nobles plotted in whispered councils, and where today's travelers pause to imagine untold stories behind heavy wooden doors. Dominating Medina's central square, St. Paul's Cathedral rises on the very site where its Norman predecessor fell in the 1693 quake, its unadorned facade giving way to an interior that rivals any European masterpiece. Inside, Mattia Preti's dramatic fresco of Paul's shipwreck anchors the vaulted nave, while shafts of light through Baroque skylights spotlight polished marble altars. A fitting homage to the island's patron and the legend that brought Christianity to these shores. Just offshore, a 4-meter statue of St. Paul stands atop his eponymous island, clutching scripture in one hand and pointing heavenward in the other. Its presence a poignant tribute to the miracle of the viper bite that, according to legend, failed to harm him. Rotunda Square's first impression is the church's grand portico, where 6 Ionic columns support a triangular pediment carved with the Maltese coat of arms, evoking the solemn formality of a classical temple. Flanking the portico are twin bell towers capped with slender spires, their silhouettes cutting a dignified profile against Malta's afternoon sky. Encircling the circular nave, a full ring of pillars rises 12 meters high to meet an entablature and cornice, creating the illusion of a Greek colonnade in miniature. Above this, the massive dome, built on a catenary curve that distributes weight evenly, soars 60 meters above the piazza, its drum punctuated by 16 arched windows that flood the interior with diffuse daylight. The exterior walls, nearly 9 meters thick at ground level, bear subtle rustication that emphasizes their solidity and the building's role as a sanctuary in both faith and form. And yet, despite this exterior grandeur, a German bomb tore through the dome during Mass, but failed to explode, coming to rest harmlessly on the nave floor without detonation, a miracle now remembered by the replica shell displayed at the entrance. From the moment the ferry's horn fades and Gozo's rolling hills rise into view, you sense you've entered a quieter world. Here, every ruin, cove, and field speaks of an island that has lived lightly on the sea and wind for millennia. Within those walls, narrow, winding streets open onto humble homes, old granaries, and modest chapels, evidence that this was as much a living community as it was a defensive stronghold. From the rampart's edge, you're rewarded with sweeping views of terraced fields, lush vineyards, and the glittering stretch of Mediterranean beyond, a reminder that Victoria Cittadella was built to protect both people and their way of life. As you step through the main gate, flanked by guard rooms and the 18th century clock tower, your footsteps echo on flagstones laid centuries ago, each one a silent witness to sieges and solemn processions. Inside, narrow alleys open onto sunlit courtyards lined with arches, where the Gozo Museum of Archaeology displays Bronze Age silos and Punic amphorae, unearthed just meters beneath the surface during recent restorations. From the old prison, its cells still intact, you emerge onto the ramparts, where the stone parapet offers an intimate view of the bastion's angled walls, dovetail gun ports, and hidden sally ports used for counterattacks. As you follow the stout limestone ramparts, the ornate Baroque facade of the Cathedral of the Assumption recedes, giving way to broad walkways and de Redin watchtowers, small, square sentinels that once relayed columns of smoke by day and flares of fire at night to warn neighboring posts of danger. From these elevated perches, you look out over a patchwork of terraced fields and vineyards stretching toward the shimmering channel that separates Gozo from Malta. Every step along these walls offers a fresh perspective. One moment framed by aged masonry and gun slits, the next revealing the living mosaic of Gozo's villages and coastlines below. Xlendi Bay's sheltered cove and overhanging cliffs also made it a favorite hideout for Barbary pirates evading Knight's galleys. Its narrow inlet and swift currents providing both cover and a quick escape back to the open sea. Over the centuries, shipwrecks discovered here, from Phoenician amphorae to medieval trade vessels, hint at the bay's dangerous reputation and its role in Mediterranean commerce and conflict. Today, Xlendi Bay's clear waters and gentle currents make it one of Gozo's premier snorkeling and beginner dive sites. With a 70-meter-long shallow tunnel cave teeming with damselfish, nudibranches, and octopus. Local operators run boat tours from the Western Quay, guiding visitors through cliffside grottos and onward to Comino's famous Blue Lagoon, while waterfront restaurants serve the day's fresh catch against a backdrop of fiery sunsets. Yet traditional Luzu fishing boats still bob alongside modern yachts here. And at dawn, you'll often find fishermen mending their nets on the quay, a living link to a maritime heritage that has endured for ages. Nestled on Gozo's northern coast, the Swedni salt pans glisten like a field of frozen water under the setting sun. Over 300 rock-carved basins hewn into the limestone shoreline, their pure crystals reflecting a trade that dates back to Roman times. Stretching over 3 kilometers between Rekka Point and Marsalforn, these ancient grids continue to be hand-harvested by local families who rake the salt weekly from mid-May through early September when the weather is driest. In winter, fierce storms spill high waves into the pans, and villagers mend cracks with pebbles and mortar to preserve the delicate basins for the next season. Beyond their culinary value, the pans form a surreal coastal landscape. At dusk, the low sun turns each pool into a molten mirror of gold and rose, while a nearby footpath leads to the dramatic sea canyon of Wied Il Gasri, where plunging cliffs and hidden caves await the adventurous walker. Perched on Gozo's rugged west coast, Dwedra Bay was long dominated by the Azure Window, a 28-meter limestone arch that collapsed into the sea in March 2017. Its remnants now forming a world-class dive site where shattered pillars and passageways teem with fish and sponges. Below the former arch, the Blue Hole, a sinkhole connected to the open sea, beckons adventurous snorkelers and scuba enthusiasts to drift through its narrow tunnel into sunlit blue chambers. Just inland, the Inland Sea is a circular saltwater lagoon linked to the Mediterranean by a short, narrow tunnel carved through coralline limestone. Its placid surface mirrors sheer cliffs, and local lore speaks of fishermen guiding small boats through the arch to reach hidden coves beyond. Today, it remains both a scenic viewpoint and a popular launch point for sea kayaking explorations. Guarding Dwedra's mouth is Fungus Rock, a 60-meter islet once prized by the Knights of St. John for its exclusive Maltese fungus, believed to heal wounds and cure dysentery. Access was strictly controlled via a rope and pulley system, and a penalty of death awaited anyone caught trying to harvest the plant without permission, testament to its legendary value. Overlooking the bay, the Dwedra Tower stands as the westernmost of the Knights' Dereden watchtowers, built in 1652 to patrol the coastline and relay threats via smoke by day and fire at night to neighboring towers, an early warning network safeguarding Gozo and Malta. From its vantage, you can still trace the chain of watchpoints that once stretched across limestone headlands, binding the islands in shared vigilance. Ta Pinu Basilica, just outside the village of Garb on Gozo, is both an architectural landmark and a beacon of faith. Built atop a humble 16th century chapel where a local woman, Carmni Grima, heard the Virgin Mary's voice in 1883, the basilica has drawn hundreds of thousands of pilgrims seeking healing and renewal. Its neo-Romanesque grandeur, punctuated by Byzantine-style mosaics and intricate carvings, shelters countless ex-votos, tokens of gratitude left by those whose prayers were answered. Visited by both Pope John Paul II in 1990 and Pope Francis in 2022, Ta Pinu remains a living testament to Gozo's vibrant Marian devotion and the enduring power of faith across generations. Ta Pinu's soaring neo-Romanesque profile and coastal perch feel like a meticulously designed film set, its twin towers framing the sea beyond, as if scripted for sweeping wide shots. It joins Malta's roster of roughly 365 churches, one for each day of the year, underscoring just how deeply this island nation is woven with sacred spaces. From the cliffs of Gozo, you'll catch your first glimpse of Comino's solitary outline. Its pale limestone silhouette rising like an island mirage against the cobalt stretch of the Mediterranean. High above Comino's rocky shore looms St. Mary's Tower, the great bastioned watchtower commissioned in 1618 to guard the perilous channel between Malta and Gozo. Yet this wasn't merely a standalone sentinel. It formed part of a vast network of coastal towers. By day, columns of smoke spiraled skyward from its roof, and by night, bright fires signaled across the water to sister towers on Gozo and the mainland, ensuring every community was alerted to danger within moments. Beyond its martial heritage, Comino unveils its most famous natural stage, the Blue Lagoon, a sheltered bay framed by Comino, where powder-white seabed and crystalline waters shine in every shade of turquoise. Today, small ferries and private boats converge here each morning, depositing sun-seekers who drift among submerged reefs and carve out sandy patches beneath rugged cliffs. Yet for all its postcard beauty, Comino remains a protected Natura 2000 site, where nesting shearwaters and scrub-clinging succulents ensure this tiny island still breathes with the secrets of centuries past. As you turn away from the lagoon and make your way inland, you'll crest the rise of Tas Merjouk Hill, where the 6-meter risen Christ stands watch over Gozo's patchwork of fields and bays. As our journey across Malta's mosaic of history, culture, and natural wonder draws to a close, take a moment to let the images of ancient citadels, hidden grottos, and sunlit bays settle in your mind. Each a chapter in a story that still unfolds with every wave and whisper of breeze. Which corner of Malta surprised you the most, and where will you set your sights for your next escape? If this episode ignited your wanderlust, spark a conversation by dropping your thoughts in the comments below. Then click through to our next video for another thrilling chapter of discovery. Thank you for watching Travel Theory. Your next adventure starts right now.